the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the reason you find out why. And it's just as true, you know, and I think that should matter, and it should matter to people as well. I think at one point I would have considered myself that adrenaline junkie. That I just, again, you appreciate life when things like that happen, or you do something things like that.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
That's
you
true.
gotta get out of your system. At least try it. And then, you know, if you fake it, most people, when they do things like that, the worst thing that happens is they faint. But at least you know, like, okay, maybe you're not fit for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever done skydiving?
That was my goal eventually, to go to skydiving. I won't do that no more now, but I would have loved to have done that. Because it would have been fun, man. I've seen the skydiving videos and I'm like, I think that's one of like the ultimate like test as a human, that you can just, you know, skydiving over there. Because, I mean, you're a rope away from, you know, just, yeah, that's that, you know, but it's fine. I think, and if I would do it, I would do it in a place that like has credibility. There are some sus places I feel like, you know, they're, you know, oh yeah, I pay 150. I'm like, I'm not saying 150 is bad, but like they play at a low price, and I'm like, wait, no.
Yeah.
Let me feel like it's I'm paying for my life here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what I will feel like. But nah, have you done it? I'm assuming you haven't.
No,
you're scared of heights.
Never.
Yeah.
I think I would like to try it once, just kind of like what you said. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you just gotta try it and you'll appreciate it, and then you maybe find out it's not for you.
Yeah.
So since I've never done it, I can't knock it till I try it. So I would try it one time. I would be peeing my pants the whole way up. That's it.
I'm thinking, I like that. Hey, maybe you find out it's not for you. That's funny, bro. Because it's true though. Then you find out like, okay, maybe it's not for you.
Yeah. Speaking of that though, I do want to kind of ask you one of the questions that I had in mind for you, especially like you are just like very multi-talented as well.
You
like,
think so, Joe?
Do you do a full-time job?
Yeah.
You also do a podcast about anything and everything.
Yeah.
You also do YouTube videos about your health.
Man.
I know you've also been learning how to play piano.
Yeah.
You also play video games. Like you do everything, dude. Like
just enjoy. I think it's because I have too much time maybe on my hands. that might be the problem.
Okay. I was gonna ask you like what, I guess like, what's your philosophy on all that? Like you just like trying new things, or you just like, are you like a person that's interested in everything, or you just
right?
Or are you bored? Like what's going on?
That's a great question. Definitely not bored. We're gonna get that out of the way. No, that's a great question because I think people from the outside in, they can see that I do, you know, different things, and sometimes how do I have time for all of that? But I think it comes with a passion. If you have passion about something, and for example, with my YouTube channel or podcast, the fact that I have a philosophy, right? If you can touch one person's life and, you know, make that, you know, for the better, or make them have a better day, or change them as a person from a story that I might share or you might share in my podcast, that does something to me. I'm like, that's a purpose. And I thrive on that. So that's the reason I keep going, you know, even through my health issues and all that. I want to touch people. I want to change people's lives. When it comes to the piano, I've never learned an instrument when I was young. I put so much time in playing sports, but now I wish I would, you know, would have taken some time to learn how to play an instrument. And I figured if I learned something, it would be the piano. I love the way it sounds. You can play so many different songs and stuff like that. So I took it serious, and I decided to start taking classes, which I missed on Tuesday, by the way, yesterday. But I practice. It's a lot of time. I learned that I know something about myself, and I'm not the quickest learner. So I know I have to put that time in for me to try to grasp anything when it comes to learning a song or learning how to read music, which sucks, dude. It's so hard, man.
Reading music is tough.
It is tough, bro.
It's like learning a new language almost.
Basically. And keep in mind, I already have a full-time job. I already have my content creation on the side, and now I'm learning how to play the piano. So definitely have to make time for it, you know. And there's some times where I slack, but sometimes it's just I come back because I have a passion for it. So I keep going because one day I want to, you know, maybe not next year, but in 5-10 years, imagine if I learn how to play it well and I can just play it anywhere and whenever I want. And I heard it's good for your memory too, like the memorize, the songs or the music sheet and stuff like that helps you in the long run with your health and mental health. So yeah, man. And the video games part, I always love video games. It's a passion. I enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I stream. I make a little money on it, streaming, and maybe sometimes enough to pay for my controller. But at least I'm paying for my controller, and I can buy a new one and play
there
again.
You go. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah. So it's a passion. I think all those things that you've mentioned have come from a passion, and of course work. Well, you have to work, to live. But even that, I take that with a lot of integrity and a passion. I want to make sure that I'm the best. I know what I can and cannot control when it comes to things like that. And one thing I know how to do well is hustle, in a good sense of the word, right? Not hustle people, but just hustle, man. Outwork people. Something that I feel like I can control because, we've talked about this before. I'm not the smartest guy. I don't learn the fastest. I'm not. It takes me some time. But once I do grasp it, I'm good at applying that, and then making sure that I can go above and beyond so I can, strive, right? Because I learned something one time about, the word in the Bible said one time that, like you're meant for greatness. And I'm like, imagine that. And I've always felt that, man. I'm like, I think I'm meant for something in life. I'm meant to do something, right? Touch people, change people, something, somehow. But when, the Bible kind of emphasized, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, everybody, you're meant for greatness. So I want to do that. I want to make sure that I'm great, but not for me, but I want to make sure that you leave something behind because you can't take any of that when you leave this earth. So touching people, changing people. Because imagine this. And sorry to get into the question, but to let you know about what I'm about a little bit. Imagine you change somebody's lives now that in the future could become, I don't know, a president, a doctor, a surgeon, maybe can figure the cure to a certain, disease or something. But because you change their way or their perspective in a certain light, that's big, man. And all it takes is one person, bro. All these people that you see, whether they're athletes or, actors or whatever, they came from somewhere, right? From somebody too. Who knows it? And during the family tree or the family line, something changed, right? And for me, because I deal with my health issues and stuff, I can do that through people who come into my channel. They're like, dude, I can't live anymore. I can't do it. I'm like, nah, bro, keep going. Who knows if that one person that they see my videos and that motivate them to keep living life. They see my struggles and they're like, no, I can do it too. Who knows if that one person will have kids, grandkids that one day will just, make a difference on earth after you're gone. Yeah. And that, motivates me.
Damn, that's deep.
Deep. I'm sorry, I got into it, bro.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that was good, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
That was good. I need a minute to like process everything you just said.
What is true, man. I feel like, but see, do you see how even when I speak, I'm passionate about things like because I think it takes passion. Because if not, then sometimes the hype and the enthusiasm that can only take you a certain way. Mm-hmm. But when you want to get into something, the long run, the journey what will keep you going is how much passion you have. Your purpose, right? Yeah. I always talk about that. So
yeah, where do you find time to like take breaks and rest?
Well,
You're doing all this stuff.
Oh no, I take my time, bro. I think I'm big on resting, and I do. It depends on how I feel and maybe my week, right? I know my work schedule, so I try to work around that. Because before I was working from home, so I even had even more time. You know what I mean when it came to all of that. So. But I don't know. I just feel like, again, you make time for the things you want and the passions and stuff like that. And then you keep it going. Lately, I've been, slacking a little bit on my YouTube channel, but I know how to pick it back up because I'm used to it now. But I can make content about almost anything and I'll be fine. I'll be good. Yeah. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. It's good, man. It's a process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will find out soon. You're finding out right now how much time it takes to record a podcast.
Dude, seriously, yeah. I did not expect it to be like, because I'm here trying to learn everything too. So it's taking me a more like an additional time of like figuring out my workflow and figuring out like how to use certain like softwares maybe, or like what's the best way to
Right.
record or whatever. So I'm still like, it's taking up so much of my time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, like,
It's
and
hard.
I'm also working full time, and I'm like, dude, how does Carlos do this? Like, what the?
But see, and you got to find what works for you, right? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
knew going in, I'm like, what can I control? I can control having, professional equipment, right? I know I can do that. So let's have that. I can have a little table. It looks good. I'm going to have that. I can have a little good vibe sign on the background. Let's have that. I can control those things, right? And then I'm like, well, the people that come in, they share their stories and stuff like that. Cool. But when it comes to the editing, I'm like, man, could I get into that? I'm not sure if I have time for that. So I know myself, what's a faster way that I can do that? Oh, I found a software. What about when it comes to the audio and editing? And, I'm like, well, I'm not going to do too much editing at the beginning, right? Because it's going to be a lot of work. Can I do it? Sure. But I'm going to make sure that it's good enough where at least, even though I'm not editing and cutting and my camera's not moving back and forth, at least it records in 4K and the sound is really great. So if it sounds good and it looks good, you kind of eventually get past that. And then you're like, okay, let's listen to what's behind. And that's what I concentrate on. That's what I can control. And you got to find what niche and what works for you. And then ride with it, because if you try to meet the expectations from the beginning of like what you see with professional settings and stuff, it's going to be hard because then you're going to put a lot on your mental and like, wow, I'm not good enough. Nah, because you can't say that. You're starting, one, and two, you know what you're about, right? And right now, this is not, the whole professional setting and maybe you're not there yet, but you will, and that's where you want to get to, and you work towards that. I think myself, I'm the same way. I'm trying to work into, eventually have more cameras, different angles and stuff, because it looks good, right? One this way, one that way, and one in the middle. I know how it works.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a page out of your book and be a little vulnerable right now. I think that's kind of like where like trying to get this journey started. I think that's kind of like something that I've been learning along the way is like, yeah, you won't have it perfect the first episode. Like,
Yeah.
My first episode of this podcast was definitely not like the top production value. I didn't have multiple cameras.
Right.
And I think like for me, like I always like strive to get it as good as I can.
Yeah.
And so when I watch other people's podcasts, I'm like, oh, how do they do that? Like, let me take notes on like what they did. And if I can like include that in mine, or like, how come mine doesn't look as good as theirs, or like my audio is not as good as that or whatever. So it kind of like holds me back in a way.
Right.
Like it's a good thing because I'm learning from them, and I can figure out how they got there and how I can get that too.
Right.
But it's also holding me back in a way where I'm like, if I don't release something because I don't think it's good enough,
right,
then it's like holding me back. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think, man, and I appreciate you sharing that because that's honest. You want to meet people's expectations, especially people who are watching or listening to you. But I think at the end of the day, I've always told myself, I'm like, if you have, for example, right, let's say you start growing and stuff. If you have 10 to 20 people that constantly listen to you, bro, it's better. And you have this community, that always, it's about Joe. I can't wait till people come out with the podcast. You come out with the podcast episode. That's better than just people coming in and out and not having a community, right? Yeah, it's cool to get the views and stuff like that, but what if they only see you once? But what about if there's 1,000 people that only watch you and they always want to make sure that they have time to listen to you? Then it becomes a community. So it means more to you. So when people come in, they feel more loved, and, they feel like you're a part of something. And I think if you hang on that, then it will be better because it'll be easier on you because they're not expecting no more what you can do for them when it comes to the audio and the video and stuff. They're expecting the content that you're going to put out. And that's what I've concentrated on, whether it's to have 50 people that listen to my, podcast episode, cool. And I have 2 people that listen that day, fine. But I never make it about the numbers. But eventually, people who know what your content's about, even if you post a video a month after, they're like, oh, I might listen to this because he might speak something, or somebody that's coming here might speak something. And I'm like, cool, dope. Yeah. A lot of people, when you came into my podcast, complimented on the comment section And even on my Instagram, like, yo, this was real. Like, this was that person that listened to that podcast. I might listen to that again because this was fire. This was, I connected. Yeah. And that's how you build. That's why I at least look at a way of building a natural and healthy community of people who will listen to you. You know, have those certain amount of people that always listen to you, and they will, because they support you, one, but two, when you post out content, you know, it's like, oh, this is real. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That was real right there.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, it's a game. It's a long journey, bro. But I feel like I'm glad you're learning, and eventually you're gonna get better at whatever you keep doing, bro. And if you keep striving to, when you do the 2-3 cameras, let me know how you did it, so I can do it. So I can do that.
We'll trade notes. Yeah,
I'm willing to learn,
sure.
man. Yeah, I'm always willing to learn. I think that's a beautiful part.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Nice. I think we're just about wrapping up on time.
Yeah.
We do one last segment on this show, usually where our guests will share a minute of life lessons or any kind of wisdom that you want to impart, any advice you got for me or for anybody else. Whatever is on your heart, man.
I think I mentioned this earlier, but I think one of the most important things is, and I feel like there are some people that like this, but find your purpose in life, whatever that is. You know, whether you're a believer or not, there is a certain thing that you can do in this earth and leave behind, right? I picture sometimes, what if you came in this earth and you just lived, but then you're gone. There's nothing to remember you by. There is no family that always embraces what you did, you know, even your grandkids and stuff like that. And I'm not saying it has to be, you know, in content, just anything that you do in life, you know, do it with a purpose, you know. Again, I feel like affecting and touching other people, you can be somebody's blessing always. And you never know when you might touch them and affect them. I feel like this view is more of like a not selfish view. It's more like a give, because you're only living here once, and not to sound cliche, right? But you do, and you know, how do you want to leave it? You know, how do you want to leave this earth? Whether it's through family, what you value the most, right? Prioritize that, because what is the saying? I think I've shared this in my YouTube channel before. The 2 most important days of your life are the day you were born and the reason you find out why. And it's just as true, you know. And I think that should matter, and it should matter to people as well, because when you live your life with a purpose, good things come along, and you know, eventually you can touch the world, even if it's just one person. So I'll leave it with that.
That was awesome, man.
I appreciate you, man.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you coming on. Do you want to plug your stuff in on, or?
My name, Carlos Granados, on you can spell that on the description if you want. Yeah. But yeah, you can follow me, man, if you guys are interested in, you know, just learning more about my journey, my YouTube channel, all that stuff. And if you have people who want to come on my podcast too, or are interested in sharing, I'm cool with that too, man. I'm an open book. So, but I appreciate you having me, bro, and I'm proud of you. I want to make sure that I tell you that to your face. I'm proud of what you're doing, and it's never too late, bro. You know, take it a step at a time. Don't get discouraged. You know, don't let your thoughts, it always happens. It's cool. But, you know, if this is your passion and you enjoy doing it, you're learning that it takes a lot of work and a lot of time, and time is precious, right? So whenever you do something like this, I know it means a lot. So keep it going, bro. I'm proud of what you're doing. It's awesome, man. You know,
thank you, man.
Hope you make it big one day. Remember me, Joe.
You gonna make it big first, man.
Nah, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, brother.
All right. Peace.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.